Hello Rogues! Welcome to the first episode of a series of mini podcast / discussion videos I'm titling Hello Rogues. In this one I have BradUK as a special guest. Brad, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm BradUK. I do content creation on Twitch and YouTube.
And today's topic is going to be, what does Rogue Company need to survive? And then also, what does Rogue Company need to thrive? Let's start with what Rogue Company needs to survive. What's your thoughts on that?
So I think they need to do one of two things. I think the re-ignition of bringing competitive players back. I think a few people have mentioned, including Rome DMV, that there's no current plans for the comp scene right now. I think with the comp scene brings a lot of eyes onto Rogue Company, and it gives players that strive to want to compete something to want to achieve to get into one of the top teams. With that absent, there's not a real reason to put lots of hours in the game from like a competitive point of view. But from a casual point of view, I think what they need to do is start listening to the community. I think people have been very vocal about the recent changes implemented, and if that's going to drive away top content creators like BradUK, who I think is instrumental to the growth of Rogue Company, then you do kind of need to listen.
Yeah, certainly. I think there's a lot of people in the community who are not opposed to big changes, but I'm not opposed to big changes in Rogue Company, but I am not really a fan of the Mythic Crate changes. Again, I'll have to test it, like in the PTS. I'm not quite sure if I'll like it or not, but I'm willing to at least give it a try, and I think that's kind of the mentality that most Rogue Company players should have, but also, you don't want to drive away your players.
Yeah,
so,
I think there's a heavy balance, isn't there? It's like, right, if from their point of view, they're seeing, or I assume they're seeing numbers going down, and they're thinking to themselves, what can we do to freshen up our game? Battlezone was relatively successful, I'd say. A lot of people enjoyed that, but again,
awesome.
It's a great fun game mode, but again, it was a standalone game mode, so it didn't affect any of the other games. So you could still go and play Ranked Demolition or Strikeout, and you was used to the formats. Now, bringing in an element of Battlezone into all the other game modes, I get why it's causing a lot of uproar. Personally, like I said to you before off air, Green Boy, I actually enjoyed the change, but I do understand why people wouldn't. But going back to the whole mindset thing that you said, I think people should be open to the change. But again, I completely understand why people don't want it or don't like it.
Yeah, same here. What I think Rogue Company needs to survive is they need to really get their server issues down. Matchmaking, it really isn't their fault because there's not enough players. Like, even big games like Apex Legends have small issues with their matchmaking, and that's because, for a good matchmaking system to exist, there has to be enough players to be put into those matches. You gotta have players that are similarly skilled enough so that it's a fair game. And right now, Rogue Company doesn't really have the player base to support it. Hopefully, Minnie was saying that when they go into full release, there should be more players and more marketing, so that should fix itself in, the full release out of beta. But server issues really should be focused on more. There's a lot of lag. I've been experiencing it, but also yesterday I was lagging in Overwatch, so it might have just been my internet connection. But I know that a lot of other players have been experiencing heavy lag and stuff like that. I think that's a priority. I think bugs are getting under control in the live game. It's just when updates drop is when new bugs come, and that's kind of the issue right now.
Yeah, picking up on something you said actually about the matchmaking. Matchmaking is an interesting one. Like you quite rightly say, there's just not enough players to sort of say, right, well, these 500 players are all rogue, they should match against each other. PC. Exactly, and it's even a smaller player base on PC. So that's one of the issues. You've not got that big enough player base on PC. Console's obviously the larger player base, but then the skill gaps become quite noticeable when you try and do the matchmaking. As everyone's experienced, you do a solo queue, you come up against a 4-stack, and the experience is quite horrible. Where if you come up a 4-stack,
we're looking at you.
Yeah, and if you come against if you go up against a 4 stack with players of the same ability, at least it's a bit more manageable. But
Yeah.
it's still not fun nonetheless.
Console
And then-
matchmaking, in my opinion, is not that bad, honestly, because it has a bigger player base. Like, sure, you get unbalanced matches, but you get more balanced matches than unbalanced, in my opinion. At least that's what I've got, except in Battlezone.
And the second thing that you said that was quite interesting actually was about the servers. And again, this is another reason why people were against the change that we mentioned about earlier with the Mythic Crates. People feel like Project Saint and the quality of life with server lag and stuff should be a priority over other things. And I agree with this. I feel like if they get their game to a point that runs really smoothly and then they add a bunch of stuff after, like new rogues, new maps, cosmetics, they can do what they want, because at least from the bottom, like, they have such a good foundation that they can build on it. Where at the moment they're building on a foundation that is not stable. Like, everyone that says the same thing, you only have to flick through the Steam store reviews. Server issue, lag issues, matchmaking issues, they're all the same things that everyone's saying all the time. I feel like you take that away from them, they then even can play the game and enjoy it, which I think a lot of people would, because on the base of it, it's a really good game. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. The server issues are a big issue.
Yeah, I think those are really the two main issues. I think bugs are getting under control. Mini has, worked harder to combat bugs, looking through like bug reports, trying to reproduce bugs herself. Yeah, they're really trying to work on that, and I don't think that's really going to be that big of an issue in the future. I think they have to get servers under control mainly.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, what does Rogue Company need to thrive?
I personally think Rogue Company, you kind of touched on it earlier, the marketing thing, but I think they really need to focus on getting their core, like what do they want to be as a game as well, like the understanding of what they want to be as a game. Do they want to be a fun casual game? Do they want to be a serious competitive game? Because I think they've kind of lost
they can be both. I think they can be both, but you gotta pick to cater to one first. They've been kind of trying to pick to cater to both at the same time. So pick one at the moment and build upon that player base, whether it be competitive or casual, and then work on, broadening it for casual and competitive.
Yeah, and that was kind of my point. Like, they kind of lost their identity. Like, when you first started playing Rogue Company, it was very much a third-person tactical shooter, where it feels like it's moving to, at the moment, a third-person casual shooter, which isn't a problem. I enjoy it either way. Yeah. But I think it has confused the audience, and that's maybe why they're getting so much dislike and stuff, because it is quite confusing. Like, what do they want to be? So I think making that message clear of, even if they just come out and said, right now we're focusing on casual, the next 6 months of this year we're going to focus on competitive, and we're going to reintroduce all the tournaments and stuff. Like, I think that sort of communication will help them thrive, and just solidifying the things that we spoke about with some of the issues will really see Rogue Company go to the next level.
Yes, certainly. I really think that Rogue Company has a lot of untapped competitive potential. And I think working on ranked and making better ranked rewards, better ranked matchmaking, better ranked quality of life improvements, maybe tweaking the point system a little bit. I think if they get ranked right, you can, have really like a ranked player base, and it could really be a good thing. Like Overwatch, I've been playing Overwatch recently and literally just ranked because that system is that good. So I think if they make, leaderboards, ranked, a fun experience to play, I think, of course, there's going to be matchmaking issues, but I think that you really could build up a ranked competitive player base that are, hungry to compete to be on the top of the leaderboard. I also think that, that really just more transparency with the community on mainstream Rogue Company platforms. Mini tweets out a lot of stuff like, okay, this is what we're working on, this is what we're not working on, this is what we could do in the future. basically just responding to a lot of things in the community. And you don't see that on the official Rogue Company Twitter or Instagram. Do they have an Instagram? I think they do have an Instagram, but you don't really see that on those platforms. They're mainly on the side on like dev tweets and posts. And I think more transparency on like the Rogue Company Twitter. Of course, there's This Week in Rogue Company on YouTube, but I think there should be more of that.
Yeah, it's one of them things where I think transparency never hurts a company. It kind of keeps the community discussions from, because one person can influence another person's decision, and so on and so forth. Kind of going back to the Mythic Crate thing, if one person says they don't like it, then that sometimes influences another person and then you start getting a lot of noise about a decision that you may not even agree with, but it just seems easier to agree with something than actually think, let me try it myself and make my own decision,
Yeah.
So sometimes transparency, I think, is the best thing. But I do seriously think like you say, on some of their main accounts, it wouldn't hurt to just have Mini tweet out to say, I've been speaking with this and this was the outcome, or I've been speaking in this community and this was the outcome. Because Mini's doing because Mini's been doing some magical work. But yeah, that's what I think, Greenboy.
Yeah, I think Mini's been doing a really good job. I think that's all I had to talk about for this video. Again, these are really short mini podcasts. I'm not trying to be broadcast. So thank you for joining me, Brad.
You're welcome.
Where can my viewers find you?
So I'm BradUK over on YouTube, but make sure you subscribe to Greenboy.
Rogue Report.
Oh,
Don't
sorry.
subscribe to Greenboy. I have Minecraft gameplay on my Greenboy account. By the way, yeah. So I know it says like for those watching the video and you don't know. The Greenboy is my what I go by normally. So the Greenboy is Rogue Report basically. I should probably change my profile picture to avoid confusion for the next upcoming Hello Rogues. Maybe I'll have more guests in the future on. But thank you, BradUK, for joining me for this episode. And thank you for putting in your thoughts. And thank you for watching, Rogues. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.